Lord help us if Gavin Newsom gets his way and, God forbid, ever becomes president. You can expect the rampant homeless crack dens of California to set up their tents in your neighborhood. Governor Newsom's calling Cali the national model for solving homelessness.
If there's any good news, and I'll close on this officially, state of California has seen a decline in veterans homelessness. We have a national model. What Proposition 1 did is it reinforced that model, provided more resources to advance that model, and we're very excited to get those dollars to work.
The greasy one getting mocked like crazy over that boast, with many pointing out how California is 12% of the overall U.S. population, but has 28% of the homeless in America. Greg, that's like Joe Biden saying he is the model for border security.
Yeah, or the model for walking. You know, the money spent on homelessness is out of sight, unlike the homeless, because the more money you spend on it, the more homeless there are. How does that happen? If a transient passes out on your street, they're going to send 2 or 3 first responders there. That's 2 or 3 vehicles. That costs thousands of dollars. Then they have to go to the hospital, and then they sit in a gurney for hours, and then they have to go in and be treated by thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. We pay for it. Gavin is committing the same crime, the same economic crime the left does with debit cards for the homeless and what Republicans do with war. You know, they'll say, oh, the money is going back into the economy. The illegals use the debit card at local businesses, and we make the missiles here. And so that creates thousands of jobs. But you don't factor in the opportunity costs that go with that. For example, if your window gets broken, Gavin will say, well, that helps the economy because someone will make a new window and someone will install the window. But that money could have been spent by you on clothes for your children, gas for your car, food for your family, savings for education. Now multiply that by millions. And that's what's happening with this bureaucracy for homelessness, which is not working. Lives and family lives, their money is now being appropriated by these bloated bureaucracies. Where is this money going? There's an interesting place called Sunbreak Ranch. I would urge you to look at this interview with Dr. Ben Carson. It's an organization in California trying to create an alternative to what people living on the street. And I mentioned it a long time ago, but it's a very interesting project, and it's getting investment.
That's good. Well, They need it because it's not just millions, it's billions, Dana.
Yeah.
They lost $24 billion, and no one knows where it went.
Yeah, and so that happened in California. It also happened in New York under de Blasio. Remember,
That's
he gave his wife $1 billion to help fix homelessness. And when they left the administration, they said, we can't find $850 million of that money. They have no idea where it went. So there's a lot of fraud. And also, California got a ton of COVID money in the American Rescue Plan. They didn't blow it. I mean, they didn't invest it well enough to deal with this because what did he have to do? Remember when President Xi came to California and all of a sudden Gavin Newsom cleaned up the homeless problem but said it's complicated for everywhere else? Xi leaves, the president of China leaves, and all of a sudden the homeless come back. So I don't think it's exactly the model. Now, if there's improvements on a specific area like veterans homelessness, that's great. And if it's working, let's share it around. Let's make sure that that's taken care of. But overall, it's not.
When Gavin Newsom does go national, Marie, how big of a drag is the homeless scandal going to be on him?
Well, I hope he does go national. I think he's a very good national politician for Democrats. But look, this new bill that they passed in California is trying to put money towards things that prevent homelessness, things like better mental health resources, substance abuse programming. The goal is to get people into programs that prevent them actually from becoming homeless, because once they're there, it's really hard to figure out what to deal with them. I hear a lot of criticism from Republicans about how these programs don't work, but I don't hear a lot of answers about where we should put these people.
You should listen to me.
And so,
I say it every day.
Okay, well, you said one thing about one ranch at the end of a very long rant,
No.
Greg.
You should watch the show. We talk about this a lot.
I do watch the show, but
I've mentioned I don't like the idea. This is the same old platitude that Republicans don't care, but we do.
Well, no, what's the answer then.
What
One
you do,
ranch.
you
One
get,
ranch.
no. You do alternative housing in a separate area. You cannot mix the homeless in with people who are running business or living. It's that simple. And you use simple laws that we all follow. You cannot live on the street. You cannot have tents. How hard is that for you to understand?
If it were that simple, Greg,
You don't do it. You don't enforce
people would have
it.
done it. There is an
they
affordable
don't
housing.
Don't use the affordable housing thing.
you
That
let me
doesn't work.
finish my
Because
sentence?
because there are homeless
No.
people coming to California. These are not Californians. Why is that?
Greg, a lot of them are. And there is an affordable housing crisis in this country.
Has nothing to do with homelessness.
If you look at the inflation numbers, especially in places like Northern California, because of tech companies and how they've driven up rents there, there are a lot of
not
people
homeless
who get
because of
pushed out.
unaffordable
That is
homes.
just not true, Greg. You are
No,
wrong.
it is.
You
No.
are wrong.
No.
Janine, a lot of these people, when they're asked and given a
are
home,
wrong.
they don't want to go into the home. They want to be on the streets. Many
Well,
of
of
them.
course they want to be on the street. They want to be homeless. That's the style of life that
Why?
they choose. And I'm not a psychologist, but let me just make my point. You say that, they're putting money in all kinds of things to prevent homelessness. That's a quote. I wrote it down. Greasy Gavin, let me tell you what he's doing and why he increased homelessness by 6% in 2023. He wasted billions of dollars because he put money into making sure that the homeless who are alcoholics are in a constant state of alcoholism so that they don't infringe on any of the EMTs, and so nobody has to do anything for the homeless. He is feeding them in the middle of their addiction. He's wasting billions of our dollars, and that's just part of the problem. They're also missing $24 billion. No one knows where it went. So now what's his answer? That homelessness is up? He's lost money? He's keeping alcoholic homeless people continuing in a state of alcoholism? I now want to boost investments in housing, substantive abuse programs, and booze. He's putting money into contracts to get booze for the homeless, housing for his buddies, and more money for investments. This is a scam that they've been doing for years, and he's not solving it. They just think we're deaf, dumb, and blind. But even if we could see, they would tell us, we can't see because of our lying eyes. This guy 5 years ago had no homeless strategy, and he's been in office since 2003 as mayor of San Francisco. No homeless strategy. He comes up with something after 16 years, and he says, now I'm a leader in homelessness. He's delusional.
All right,
And
glad
that's
we
it.
settled that. Up next, Democrats are caving to the Sharia sorority, and it could get the DNC canceled. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.